Have you ever glanced at a worn 1970 D. Lincoln 1-cent penny and dismissed it as nothing more than pocket change? That tiny copper coin could be hiding a story that has captivated collectors for decades. While most examples are worth only a cent, a handful of extraordinary pieces with rare characteristics have stunned the numismatic world, with exceptional specimens and highly desirable error varieties reaching astonishing prices. Some reports and sensational headlines have even fueled claims of values approaching $770,000, proving that one remarkable coin can completely change someone's financial future. The 1970 D. Lincoln cent was struck at the Denver Mint during a period when billions of pennies were produced for everyday commerce. Millions of Americans handled these coins without a second thought. Yet history has shown that mass production sometimes creates extraordinary accidents. Tiny imperfections, unusual striking errors, and exceptional preservation can transform an ordinary penny into a collector's dream. Now imagine opening an old jar of coins inherited from a grandparent. You notice a bright 1970 D penny sitting quietly among the rest. Would you recognize the signs that separate a common coin from one collectors compete to own? That single decision could mean the difference between spending it for 1 cent or preserving something incredibly valuable. One of the first things experienced collectors examine is the condition. Coins that somehow escaped circulation with blazing original luster command far greater attention than heavily worn examples. Then come the details. Die errors, doubled features, striking abnormalities, and dramatic off-center strikes often attract intense interest. Every unusual characteristic adds another chapter to the coin's story. But here's where the excitement really begins. Not every valuable coin announces itself. Some of the rarest discoveries looked completely ordinary until experts examined them under magnification. That's why seasoned collectors never rush. They inspect every letter, every number, every mint mark, and every tiny detail that most people overlook. Think about that for a moment. How many pennies have passed through your hands over the years? Hundreds? Thousands? What if one of them deserved a place inside a protective holder instead of disappearing into a vending machine? It's enough to make anyone laugh nervously before checking every coin in the house. As demand for exceptional Lincoln cents continues to grow, competition among collectors has become increasingly intense. Rare varieties and pristine examples often attract aggressive bidding whenever they appear. The combination of historical significance, scarcity, and outstanding preservation creates the perfect recipe for remarkable prices. Before selling any unusual 1970 D. Lincoln penny, have it authenticated by a respected grading service. Professional authentication confirms authenticity, identifies valuable varieties, and establishes condition, all of which can dramatically influence market value. Never clean the coin, because even gentle polishing can reduce its desirability and collector appeal. The next life-changing discovery may not come from an ancient treasure chest or a hidden vault. It could be waiting inside a forgotten coffee can, an old dresser drawer, or a family coin collection that hasn't been opened in decades. So before you spend another penny without looking twice, remember this remarkable piece of American history. Your ordinary-looking 1970 D. Lincoln 1-cent penny could hold far more than sentimental value. It could become the discovery that collectors dream about, proving that sometimes extraordinary wealth arrives disguised as the smallest coin in your pocket. Have you checked the pennies hiding in your pocket lately? Most people spend them without a second thought, but one ordinary-looking 1978 Lincoln 1-cent penny with no mint mark could completely change the story of someone's life. Imagine discovering that a single copper coin you've ignored for years could attract serious collector attention and, under extraordinary circumstances involving exceptional rarity, condition, and unique characteristics become the centerpiece of an auction that turns heads across the collecting world. Before you dismiss that penny as just another cent, stay with me, because what you're about to learn may forever change the way you look at your spare change. The 1978 Lincoln cent without a mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. During that era, Philadelphia cents typically carried no mint mark, making the absence of a mint mark completely normal. Millions were produced, and most remain worth only face value today. But here's where the story becomes fascinating. Among those millions, a tiny number stand apart because of remarkable preservation. Dramatic minting errors, or highly sought-after varieties that collectors eagerly pursue. Now imagine opening an old coffee can inherited from a grandparent. Dust covers dozens of pennies collected decades ago. You almost toss them into a coin machine, but something tells you to take one more look. That single moment of curiosity could make all the difference. Here's the question that every collector asks. What transforms an ordinary penny into an extraordinary treasure? The answer lies in details that most people never notice. A sharp strike, blazing original luster, nearly flawless surfaces, and unusual mint errors can dramatically increase collector demand. Look carefully for doubled lettering, off-center strikes, broad strikes, die cracks, clipped planchets, or other genuine mint-made mistakes. Even subtle differences can capture the attention of experienced collectors when combined with exceptional condition. And here's something that surprises many people. The highest values are almost always reserved for coins graded at the very top of the condition scale by respected third-party grading services. That tiny difference between an average circulated coin and a virtually perfect survivor can mean the difference between a few cents and a life-changing opportunity. Now picture this. You're holding a penny under a bright light, wondering if you've found something special. Your heart starts racing. Could this really be the one? Or is it simply another common cent? That suspense is exactly what keeps treasure hunters searching year after year. Stories circulate throughout the numismatic community about extraordinary coins bringing astonishing prices, with exceptional examples and major mint errors sometimes reaching values approaching 7 figures. Some discussions even reference figures as high as $778,000 for extraordinarily rare circumstances. But remember, those prices represent exceptional coins with unique qualities, not typical 1978 Philadelphia cents. So before you spend another penny, slow down. Examine every date, every letter, every detail. The next coin you overlook could become tomorrow's headline in the collecting world. Sometimes incredible discoveries aren't buried beneath ancient ruins. Sometimes they're waiting quietly in a forgotten jar, an old wallet, or the loose change sitting on your kitchen counter. Your next great treasure hunt may begin with just one ordinary-looking penny.
Have you checked the pennies hiding in your pocket lately? Most people glance at a 1979 Denver Lincoln cent and see nothing more than a single cent. But what if one tiny detail could separate an ordinary coin from a collector's dream? Some of the rarest examples and extraordinary mint errors have stunned the numismatic world with astonishing prices, and exceptional specimens have been associated with values reaching hundreds of thousands of dollars. Before you spend another penny without looking, you may want to hear this story. The 1979 Lincoln 1 cent was struck at the Denver Mint during a time when billions of pennies entered circulation. That enormous production means most examples remain common today. Yet history has proven something fascinating. Sometimes the rarest treasures are hidden among the most ordinary coins because of unusual minting mistakes, remarkable preservation, or combinations of characteristics that collectors spend years searching for. Imagine opening an old coffee can filled with forgotten pennies from decades ago. To most families, it looks like spare change. To an experienced collector, it could be the beginning of an unforgettable discovery. That's why thousands of people continue searching rolls of pennies, estate collections, and inherited jars every single year. Now here's where the story becomes even more interesting. Not every 1979 D penny is valuable, but certain examples displaying dramatic mint errors can command incredible attention. Collectors closely examine doubled lettering, off-center strikes, die cracks, clip planchets, broad strikes, and other genuine mint-produced errors. Coins showing sharp original luster with virtually no wear are especially desirable because condition often determines whether a coin is worth only a few cents or dramatically more. Think about that for a second. The same coin, the same year, the same mint mark. Yet one example might buy you a cup of coffee, while another could become the centerpiece of a world-class collection. Sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? Here's the surprising part. Professional grading changes everything. Even a beautiful-looking penny should never be assumed to have premium value without expert authentication. Certified coins preserved in exceptional mint state grades consistently attract stronger interest because buyers know exactly what they're purchasing. And that brings us to the number everyone wants to hear. Reports of extraordinary Lincoln cents selling for astonishing amounts continue to fuel excitement throughout the hobby, and some exceptionally rare error coins in elite condition have been associated with values approaching an incredible $779,000. Those figures represent the rarest and most exceptional examples, not typical 1979 D pennies, but they remind us why collectors never stop searching. So before you dismiss that old penny sitting in a drawer, ask yourself one question. What if today is the day you overlook the one coin that could change everything? Take a careful look at the date. Confirm the Denver Mint mark beneath it. Study every letter, every number, every edge under bright light. One tiny detail could separate an ordinary coin from an extraordinary discovery. History has shown that remarkable treasures often hide in plain sight, waiting for someone patient enough to recognize them. Your next great find may already be sitting in your home, quietly waiting for the moment someone finally decides to look closely instead of looking quickly. And sometimes, life's biggest opportunities really do begin with just one penny. Have you checked the pennies hiding in your pocket lately? Most people glance at a 1984 Lincoln cent and spend it without a second thought. But what if one ordinary-looking penny held the potential to change your financial future? That's exactly why collectors across America examine every 1984 Lincoln 1-cent coin with incredible attention. While the vast majority are worth only a single cent, a tiny number with extraordinary characteristics have become legendary in the collecting world, with exceptional examples and dramatic minting errors reaching astonishing prices. Some reports and headlines have even fueled excitement, with values approaching an incredible $784,000. Before you dismiss that old penny, stay with me, because the details make all the difference. The 1984 Lincoln cent without a mint mark was produced in Philadelphia, where coins traditionally carried no mint mark during that era. Millions entered circulation, making them seem completely ordinary. But history has taught collectors an important lesson. Sometimes the most common-looking coins hide the rare surprises. Tiny differences created during the minting process can separate an everyday cent from a remarkable collector's treasure. Now imagine opening an old jar of coins that has been sitting untouched for decades. Maybe it belonged to your parents or grandparents. Maybe it's been collecting dust in a closet while you walked past it every day. Sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? Yet discoveries like these continue to inspire collectors across the country. Here's where the story becomes fascinating. The most famous varieties include dramatic doubling visible on Lincoln's ear and other design elements. Under magnification, these features can appear unusually strong compared with a normal coin. Collectors also search for off-center strikes, broad strikes, die cracks, clip planchets, and coins preserved in exceptional mint condition. Even the smallest detail can dramatically influence collector demand. But wait a second. Before you start planning your dream vacation, ask yourself one important question. Is every 1984 penny worth a fortune? Absolutely not. That's exactly what makes the hunt so exciting. The overwhelming majority remain worth face value, while only genuinely rare varieties with verified authenticity command premium prices. This is where patience becomes your greatest investment. Examine the date carefully. Look closely at Lincoln's portrait. Study the lettering under proper lighting. If something appears unusual, resist the urge to clean the coin. Cleaning can permanently damage its surface and reduce its collector value. Instead, store it safely and consider having it authenticated by a respected grading service. The excitement surrounding rare Lincoln cents isn't just about money. It's about possibility. Every collector remembers the moment they realized history could fit in the palm of their hand. Every forgotten coin carries a story, and sometimes that story ends with an extraordinary discovery. So the next time you receive change at the grocery store, empty your pockets onto the table before spending another cent. That humble 1984 Lincoln penny, without a mint mark, may simply be another common coin. Or it could be the beginning of a story that collectors dream about for a lifetime. The next incredible discovery won't announce itself. It will wait quietly until someone curious enough takes a closer look. That someone could be you. Have you checked the pennies hiding in your change jar lately? Most people would never imagine that a single Lincoln cent could transform from everyday pocket change into a collector's dream. Yet one extraordinary version of the 1985 D Lincoln 1-cent penny has captured the attention of the numismatic world, with rare examples and exceptional error varieties attracting astonishing prices. Some reports and market claims have reached as high as $785,000, proving that the smallest coin can inspire the biggest treasure hunt. Before you dismiss the pennies in your drawer, stay with me, because the most important detail is still ahead. In 1985, the Denver Mint produced billions of Lincoln cents. The overwhelming majority remain worth only a cent. That is exactly what makes the rare exceptions so fascinating. Every now and then, a tiny mistake during the minting process creates a coin unlike the millions around it. Suddenly, an ordinary penny becomes a conversation piece, a collector's prize, and in exceptional cases, an investment worth a fortune. Now imagine discovering one while cleaning out an old coffee can filled with coins from decades ago. Sounds impossible? That's exactly what many people once believed before remarkable discoveries changed their lives. History has shown that valuable coins often hide in plain sight, overlooked simply because nobody bothered to look carefully. So what should you watch for? Collectors search for dramatic off-center strikes, doubled lettering, die cracks, broad strikes, and other genuine mint errors that separate an ordinary 1985 D penny from an extraordinary one. They also examine the coin's overall condition. A flawless, uncirculated example with brilliant original surfaces will always attract more attention than a heavily worn coin. Professional grading can make an enormous difference because authenticity and preservation are everything in the rare coin market. Here's something funny. We spend more time checking our phone batteries than the coins sitting in our own homes. Yet one of those pennies might deserve far more attention than another social media notification. But don't rush just yet. The biggest mistake isn't throwing away the penny. It's assuming every 1985 D cent is automatically worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Most are not. The true value depends on rarity, condition, and whether the coin possesses a legitimate mint error verified by respected grading experts. That single detail separates a common cent from one that collectors fiercely compete to own. This is where excitement meets patience. Every collector remembers the thrill of turning over another coin, wondering if this could finally be the incredible discovery they've dreamed about. Most searches end quietly. Then one unforgettable moment changes everything. Think about how many old jars, piggy banks, inherited collections, and forgotten boxes still exist across America. Every one of them represents possibility. Every penny deserves another look before it's spent forever. The next time you receive change at the grocery store or empty an old coin jar, pause for just a second. Look for that tiny D mint mark beneath the date. Study every detail. Compare it carefully. If something appears unusual, don't clean it, don't polish it, and don't assume it's worthless. Have it evaluated by a qualified professional. Your next great financial surprise may not arrive through a paycheck or a lottery ticket. It could already be waiting quietly in your pocket, disguised as nothing more than an ordinary 1985 D Lincoln cent, ready to reveal a story and perhaps a value you never imagined.